On this week's episode, we are still on a high from Harry Maguire's heroics at Anfield. There's an interesting set of stats that paints a picture of United's new approach. We get up close and personal with Wayne Rooney in Dubai, and we open the Gummers mailbag to answer your questions. All this and much more on Fergie's Gum, a Manchester United podcast. Hello and welcome to Fergie's Gum. My name is Nathan Irvine and I'm joined, as always, by the freshly tanned Mr. Paul Cropper, who I believe cut his holiday short just to be on this podcast. Right? Is that right?
Oh, no, it's not right.
What?
No.
Oh,
But I'd much rather be here. I am fully vitamin D'd up, Nathan. Fully vitamin D'd
that's
up.
good.
I am raring to go.
You- you- Well, that response basically answers my first question, mate. I was going to say, are you still on a high from Sunday's Manchester United 2, Liverpool 1 at Anfield?
Mate, I wouldn't have missed this podcast for anything. I tell you, I'd have moved mountains here just to be. Look at the smile on face. Go happy we are.
I know.
Brilliant.
It's good, isn't it?
It is. It's a good feeling, isn't it? It is a good feeling. Superb.
I think the thing for me is that, obviously, I wrote a newsletter about this on Substack, but the first thing that I saw when I woke up, when I was checking like social media and even like some of the news outlets as well, there was like, oh, it's just one win and it's a bad Liverpool side. Lads, we haven't won there in 9 years, 10 seasons. Like we deserve to celebrate it. And if you can't celebrate sport when you win a game, when can you celebrate it? Do you know what I mean? Just felt a bit weird from people. People are weird, aren't
It is strange. Isn't it? Don't celebrate your wins. No matter in life, even celebrate your little wins. That's how.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, isn't it? And beating them at home, even though they are struggling, and struggling, well, champions, aren't they? That's another thing that they say. Oh, they're struggling. They've just won the league. It's probably one of the best Liverpool teams yet. All right, they've had a few issues with new players because they spent over 500 million or something. Like that.
Oh, the dumbs.
It's meant. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. We did say last week, didn't we, that I think we were all quietly confident of getting something. I don't think we were expecting a win or anything. It could have. I think was what we all said. It could have gone either way. Really, depending what happened in the game, and even the game panned out like that as well, didn't it? We did right. We did.
No, go on.
I would say we did ride our luck a bit, and it was that's what we thought. We needed to get a little bit lucky to get a win there, but I think we all fancied a draw. I think we thought we were good enough to get a draw there, especially with how their team was playing, really, with the issues that they've got.
Yeah,
I
thought the most interesting thing for me was that as soon as that, and I do this often, but as soon as that team was announced, straight into the WhatsApp group for Fergie's Gum, we're getting pumped. Because I don't think anyone, apart from Ahmad, to his credit, I don't think anyone looked at that and was like, yeah, there we go, that's a good lineup. You look at that back five, Ahmad, Dalot, Maguire, De Ligt, and Shaw, and you're like, oh my God, right, this could be a basketball score. But fair play to Ruben Amorim, fair play to those defenders, apart from Dalot. Fair play to those lads that were in there. They did everything that they needed to do. And the most exciting part for me, or the most interesting part for me, was that they all looked up for it. They all really did look up for it. They were trying to, like, it looked like they were all playing for the badge. And you can't say that they've done that in every game that they've played. Under Ruben Amorim, under Erik ten Hag, under any of the previous managers, this felt like there was a unity to them where they were really scrapping for it. And we'll come on to individual performances in a second, but, Cunha, just that lad. I said it. Yeah. I said it before. I said it when we signed him. That flair, the anger, the little gamesmanship and things like that. Eric Cantona, like that's where I am with Matthias Cunha. And he was outstanding again. But what was, for you then, what was the highlight? Obviously, Harry Maguire's goal's got to be up there, but what was the highlight for you?
I said last week on the podcast, I said that how we start games will determine how well we do. That's exactly what I said, and it's it rang true. We started. I've just watched a bit of the highlights, and even just before the goal, I know the goal was what was it, 90 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
The first minute we started, and it was everything was nippy, everything looked intense, and everything looked as if they looked confident. I don't know where
Yeah.
that confidence has come from. Whether it's come from no idea. Whether that's come from the preparation that the manager and the backroom's staff have put into it, and the players were like, "Wow, we're going here with a plan. We've actually got a plan here, and if we stick to this, we can get something for it."
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's something that they're building into what they're buying into what the manager's putting down on paper and saying, "This is how we can get a result at Anfield."
Yeah.
And if the players are listening to him and there is a structure to it, and it obviously played out over the 90 minutes. The narrowness, and we've probably all seen Carragher's breakdown of the narrowness and the back five and everything like that.
Yeah.
And that you can only build on that, can't you? That's something that players, even though we think of them being multimillionaires, professionals at the top in the Premier League, they still need a structure. They still need something to stick to, and you still need something to hang your hat on, don't you? That's what they need. And hopefully that's something now that the players can be like, wow, I'm gonna do everything for this manager.
I think that's an interesting point actually that was kind of missed with the result, all the analysis that came after it, and I think you've touched on a good point there. Have the players finally bought into Ruben Amorim and what he's going to do? There was some suggestion that Jim Ratcliffe saying he's going to get 3 years, whether that's true or not. There was some suggestion that, that had a ripple effect through the changing rooms where it was like, lads, he ain't going anywhere. Like, we better buck up and we better just listen to what he says and at least give him a chance to do it. But when you get big results at Anfield, as we did, you can only feel like, right, that does work. Because there was definite intent in what they were doing. It wasn't just like 11 individuals on the pitch trying to make something happen. There were passages of play that were very purposeful. And some of the stats that I've got here that I wanted to talk about is it looks like Ruben Amorim is adapting to the Premier League this season, where Arne Slot is kind of being left behind a little bit. 4 losses on the spin it was before they beat Frankfurt last night. He seems to be adapting. Scored a goal from a throw-in, which they'd conceded to before. We look a threat from corners now and set pieces. And our football has become way more direct because Senny Lamans, who had a really good game again, by the way.
Yes.
He played 45 out of 46 opportunities. He played them long, which is apparently that's measured over 35 meters, whatever it is. So he was going long. But it wasn't just because obviously it was a bit of a shock that Benjamin Šeško wasn't playing, but he wasn't going for that big man. Where the stats kind of back up what Amorim was doing in that game and all season is United are apparently first according to Opta stats, they're first in second ball wins. So 400 and I think it's 466. No, sorry. They've played 466 long balls this season, right? Direct balls. Mm-hmm. Wolves are second in that with 464. But then the second ball claims are 59%. So what they're doing is, it's one of those, until you've actually heard it or read about it, it's weird to kind of like process it. But if you watch the game, what Lamans is doing, especially when Šeško's not on the pitch, he's playing it forward into an area where Cunha, Ahmad, and Bumo, or who's on the left? Who's on the left-hand side again? Was it Dalot?
You mean wing back? It was Dalot, yeah.
Yeah. So he's playing it into those positions so that there isn't the expectation that they win the ball. It's just harass the defender and force him into a mistake. So what they're doing is literally playing it onto the head of Virgil van Dijk. He's being harassed by Mbumo, heads it into midfield. We've got the ball higher up the pitch. And when you look at it, when you break down that analysis, that's a really clever way. You're not exactly playing out from the back, but you've just gained 25 yards by employing that system. So I think I don't know. You've obviously you've been backing him from the start. I don't want to see him sacked. I think that's the best that I can say for it. I don't want to see him get
Yeah.
fired. But it does look like he's adapting, right? Seems like he's
It
he's getting
maybe,
clued up.
Nathan. Yeah. Yeah, possibly. Well, he's probably getting used to the league. I know we said it the other week. He is a young manager. It's a good thing to see that he is probably learning on the job about the league. He's also probably, Nathan, now getting used to his players and understanding what his players can do. That's another thing that will come with this. So it I mean, we all laughed at Ahmad, didn't we, last week when he said start Harry Maguire, and we were like, well, I think I
Yeah.
said something about him not making the bruise. Egg on my face there. But that was upon me and yourself thinking that we have to play the high line. That's what we have to do. And Amma said, no, we won't do that. He was right when I listened back to it. I listened to it on the plane, and I was like, he's exactly right. We're not going to do it. We're going to sit in, aren't we? And that's the correct thing to do. Harry Maguire can do that, and he can do that quite comfortably, can't he? He can head the ball away up his 6-yard box, as shown. Delit's probably more comfortable doing that, and Luke Shaw is. The thing is, when, like, at the weekend, we'll talk about the weekend's game. We won't be able to do that at the weekend, will we? We have to be a more pragmatic approach. So the game, I know it sounds stupid.
Proactive, not
Yeah,
pragmatic.
sorry, yeah. Well,
Pragmatic is what we
opposite.
played. Yeah.
It's it's silly to say, but the game at Anfield probably suited them defenders, if you see what I mean. To go more direct, to get up the pitch. The massive plus that we've got now, and the players will also be seeing it, is the two lads that you mentioned, Mbeumo and Cunha. When you've got them in your team, in training they'll be like, wow, these players are such an upgrade, and that'll give the defenders confidence. If we can just keep a clean sheet or we can concede one goal, these lads up the other end are going to do something. Also, and I don't like to keep saying I said this, I said that, but I mentioned not playing Sesko and playing Cunha as the man up top. The reason why I said that was because I feel like his hold-up play, his touch, the way he can bring other players into the game, he's more awkward. He's just very, very good at it. He battles with the ball, and he's able to draw 2 or 3 defenders towards him. He'll fall over, and I was watching it in the Irish bar, and take the foul, just take the foul, take the sting out of the game, take the pressure off it, and he's brilliant at that. Both of them are, to be fair. They're both very good at I'll just trip over here. Oh, a player's gone into my back. We'll take the foul, and that game management is something that Garnacho couldn't do. If you like, he didn't have the experience or the strength to take that foul. I thought, like, to want to touch those two again. All the way through the game, I thought they were absolutely fantastic, and they are such an upgrade on the lads that have gone, and that'll just only help us. I'm just hoping we can build on it. But fantastic win, Nathan.
But I think one of the issues that people kept talking about, and I want to try and keep it positive rather than any negativity, because we did win at Anfield for the first time in 9 years, which I will keep repeating until we
What did we do?
until it's drilled in. We won at Anfield for the first time in 9 years, 10 seasons. So that was it, it feels good. Cunha still hasn't assisted, and he still hasn't scored a goal. And there were some people that was like coming out and saying, "Oh, 009 is it now? 8, whatever it is, or all this rubbish, no assists, no goals." However, his contribution, as you were saying, was unreal. To have that player, we've all played football where you have that one player in your team and you go, "I'm going to give it to him, and he's going to do something with it. No matter what happens, I'm full of confidence that he's going to do something with the ball." And that's what he was doing, and he wanted the ball all the time. Give it me here. I'm back in the corner. I'm at the touchline. It don't matter. Give me the ball. I'll get it out of here. There's a little bit of skill that he did when he took on, oh God, who was it? Was it Frimpong that was marking him? He skinned him. Like, he was really close to the line, and it was like a little drag back. Skinned him. Other player came in. He fell on the floor, and he still managed to get the pass away, so that we didn't lose any possession. And then when he went down a little bit later, like clutching his leg, get the lad's holding his leg. He's got a bit of cramp, and he even picked the ball up, or he went over to the referee when what's their lad called? Jones. What's he called? Come on. What's the Liverpool lad called? Jones. Is he Jones?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
What's his first name? What's his first name? Who
Scouser,
cares?
innit? Don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scout. Curtis Jones.
Curtis
Anyway,
Jones, there you go. Yeah. Well done.
when he went down and they were on the counter attack in like the last minute or something, he was straight over. Cunha was straight over in the referee's face. He's down. Look, he's down. Look. And the referee blew his whistle and stopped the play. It's like, yeah, there we go. And that's what you
But
need. That
that's
that's what you
bravery,
need.
that though, Nathan. To have a player, there's different types of bravery, isn't there? And that was another thing that when I mentioned playing Cunha instead of Sesko was because he's played there before. I know Tesco's played at Anfield, but not not in the Premier League, if you like.
Yeah,
And he'll understand that, Cunha. And I know he scored for Wolves, didn't he, there as well. But to
yeah,
ask for the ball wherever you are on the pitch, give me the ball. I'll hold it up, and I'm
yeah.
not going to give it away. We've but for too many years we've had players that have pretended to be brave. Oh, right, I'll give me the
Yeah.
ball, and then they'll lose it, and then they'll be like, "Oh no, I lost the ball again. Right, I'll just pretend to chase back." That's not
Yeah.
brave.
Are you talking
Brave
about
isn't going
Marcus
through the.
Rashford?
I was not naming any names. You could put 6 or 7 in that under that bracket though, Nathan, couldn't you? And
True.
that's the issue. And these lads are different, especially those two up front. And yeah, you can clatter people. You shoulder barge. There's a different type of bravery. Ronaldo used to do it as well. Give me the
Yeah.
ball. I'll take a hit. I'll take a foul, and that's how you get your 2-1. Because if the ball keeps coming back and your defense is under pressure, and you just keep clearing it, and it keeps coming back, and it keeps
Yeah.
going, the forward isn't holding it up. They don't get a breather, and that's when
Yeah.
instead of you going up the other end and scoring a winner, that's when Liverpool put you under so much pressure that you concede to the other one. I mean, I reckon we were all very nervous as soon as Liverpool scored that goal. I said I said they're going to get another one here. I was thinking that, and I think we all probably had that kind of inkling. The cojones, if you like, to keep going for United to go again, and then think, wow, because Sesko came on, didn't he, and he held the ball up, and it once again it stuck up front, it's stuck there. You can build from there, and then that's where we got the corner from. I did think, well, Maguire did very, very well for the Goldens.
Well, I was going to ask you about Harry Maguire, because obviously you've been pretty vocal about him not being good enough in the team, and you admitted that just before. You said about having neg on your face and things like that. I mean, as football fans, we're frustrated, and you were talking literally. I think, was it last week before? I think one of the podcast episodes was called "Enjoy the Ride," and that's exactly what we're on now. The ups and downs of these players. The thing that we need is consistency. But after that game, let's give Maguire his flowers. He did really well. He played well in his own box, and then to get up there to get that goal. I mean, it helped that he had 3 acres of space around him to get that header on target. But I think the players, it's hard to write them all off when they put in a performance like that. I think the thing that comes into question is, can you do it every week? And again, yes, we'll talk about Brighton later, but can you do that every week? Because otherwise, you're not good enough. That fair to say?
Very, very fair to say. I'm not gonna all of a sudden Maguire scored a winner at Anfield and he's had a good game and say that's good enough to go and get you in the top 4 or to challenge for a league. I personally don't think it is. I don't think you can win a league by defending on your 6-yard box and playing on the counter attack. That's just my opinion. No doubt in Harry Maguire, he's good enough to be in this United squad. I don't feel he's good enough to be a starter in a Premier League winning team. That's just how I feel, especially with the way that you probably want to play on the halfway line. He's just not got the pace to. So I don't think there's any doubt in his
Professionalism.
Professionalism, personality, his will to dig in, his pride in his own. Well, I can't think what the words are. His pride in his own performances. I think he's always one that'll try his best, and that's all you can ask from a player. That's all we want all of our players to do, won't it? We just try your best, and if it's not good enough, well, we'll see. But yeah, whether or not I know they've talked about extending his contracts and stuff like that. Whether or not I will do that.
Extending his contract, but he's willing to take a pay cut for it. So he
that's
knows
another
he knows
thing.
he knows he's coming to the end of his like, usefulness, let's say. He knows that every opportunity that he gets on the pitch with Manchester United is like, it's another lucky day. Do you know what I mean? Like, as you say, there are players that are probably out there that are better than him technically, and that Manchester United would probably be looking at in January, in the upcoming transfer windows in the summer as well. But that type of character, I feel, is important to have at Manchester United, because I feel like Maguire's that type of player where you can build a unit around him. Like and we'll talk about this later, because we was at a Q&A, me and Ahmad was at a Q&A with Wayne Rooney last night. When you talk about good players to have around the squad, the first person, who was the person that, and I'll let you guess, and I'll ask you again, you can give me your answer at the end of this section, but Wayne Rooney named one person that kept him going when he was playing at Manchester United. And if you guess who it is, I'll be very, very surprised. But Harry Maguire fits that type of mold, I think. You need him in the squad.
There's a place for him.
Changing room.
Exactly. There's a place for him at Old Trafford, isn't there? I'm not saying. There's no place for him. It's not like, oh, he's not good enough, get rid of him. There's still a purpose to him, and he's good enough for the games where we go away at City. He will defend on the 6-yard box. So he's and he should be very proud of himself, and so should all of them. To be fair, I think there wasn't. I mean, we always dog Dalot, don't we? But to be fair, Dalot had a decent game as well. He didn't have any howlers, which he normally does. They should all be very.
His mistake led to the goal. I will say that.
No, I just wanted to, before I forget, because I do that. Did you feel that the substitutes made us better or worse?
I think it maintained a level. That's what I thought.
Did you?
I thought it. I didn't think it brought anything down massively. I thought what it was we needed energy, and you could see Casemiro went in for that challenge, and he's like on the floor just going, "Lads, I'm gassed. Get me off. Get me out of here." You'd never seen that before. But obviously he travelled from. I think they were in Cunha and Casemiro were in South Korea earlier on in the week. Travelled back early. I think they had 2 days of preparation at Carrington. And did Casemiro go off on the 69th minute? And Cunha played the entire 90. So
that's literally what I was just thinking.
So I don't think it brought it down. I think it maintained it, and I think we needed those energy levels to just try and keep the game going. If we'd have taken Cunha off, we'd have been dead and buried. I think that was the guy. But no, I don't know. I didn't think so.
I felt like when Dorgu came on, I felt like it seemed to drop the level down a little bit. I thought he looked a bit nervous, to be honest with you. And the Ugarte as well. I thought he just looked a bit nervous. Just the way it looked for me. I felt like we dropped down 10-15%. Yeah.
That's fair. There was another area that we disagreed on, and I want to touch on this again before I forget what it was. Come on, man. Look, get that Bruno assist back up again, lad. Because you're not having it. You're just saying that he just hoofed it. When I was every single podcast that I've listened to with ex pros on it and pundits and things like that. What technique, fantastic skill. 90% of people would have tried to control that. That was Keno saying it. I think even Jamie Redknapp was talking about the fact that he managed to deliver that into the box with such control. But you're not having it. You're saying Bruno was a hit and hold.
Calm down, lad. I'm saying he helps it into an area. I don't think that's a difficult thing to do.
Come on. No, give him some credit.
I mean, he's put it in an area. I'm not saying, oh wow, look at that. That's absolutely fantastic.
First time, mate.
Come on,
lovely.
Come on, Nate.
Inside of his foot. Come on, lad.
No, this
come
is
on.
no.
You know
helps it to the back post. I'll take it. It's absolutely. It's not wow. He just helps it into an area.
It is wow, mate. It's wow. Yeah, I'm into it.
Tell me your thoughts on Bruno. Tell me your thoughts on Bruno's performance.
I didn't think he had a great game, to be honest.
Neither did I. No.
but I thought he did just enough. When you look at their midfield, when you look at who they've got milling around in that midfield area, I thought we were going to be overrun, but a lot of the time we wasn't. It was very narrow, as we talked about right at the start of the show. And I think that was enough to kind of create the problems. I think Mbumo, Ahmad, Dallo, and Cunha was it Mount that started? It was Mount, wasn't
Yeah,
it? Was it Mount?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They
yeah,
they were
yeah.
coming back and filling in. They knew that they had to do that because it was an area where they would have got overrun. But I was going to talk about this later when we're talking about like in fact we got a question in the Gummers mailbag that talks about it. But
Mhm.
results like this are amazing, but it still shows like there are deficiencies around the pitch. But I didn't really think Bruno. It wasn't. It wasn't a bad game. I just didn't think he was. He didn't really do anything. He didn't really have to until he pulled off that assist. And he's still the. Is he the highest big chance creator in Europe? You know, all the top leagues in Europe still.
Is that right? I'd
Yeah,
have to
it's
fact
mad.
check that, mate. I've,
That's mad.
the reason I asked you about Bruno's performance is I've just got it in my notes there. I felt like he was trying to be everywhere and do everything. And in that position of the 6/8, which is what he was doing, because he wasn't playing as an out-and-out 6. He was trying to
Yeah.
push on as the 8 and trying to pick up there. You can't do everything. You can't be going getting the ball off the defender. You can't be trying to pick up the second ball. And you can't be pinging your balls. And he was trying. He tries to take everything on his shoulders, and I think that takes away from his game. Of just do that job, pal, and
But
do that well, and then
I think that, like, going back to our point about Cunha before, I think that's what Amorim wants. He wants players that are brave, and he wants players that will take those things on. And Bruno's not a player to shy away from a challenge. Like he'll be there if it happens. Like get it into feet. If he loses the ball, he loses the ball. It's not he's not that bothered about it, but he will keep trying. And I think that was a deliberate tactic as well from Amorim, like to give him that kind of free role because he knows that he's best when he's marauding, not just stood in that position. 'Cause
sat there.
he can't play the 6. We know that. Right, we're going to go on to the evening with Wayne Rooney in a second.
Oh yeah,
But I want to ask you, who was the player that he said was the best one to have around in the changing rooms, like his best mate at Man United?
the first one that came to round was Rio. Rio Ferdinand. That was the first person I thought of. No,
And I'll give you the answer after this break. Right then, well, me and Ahmad went to a very special evening last night here in Dubai. We went to the Dow and Anchor pub, which apparently is one of Dubai's oldest pubs. I've been here for 10 years and I have never been inside it until last night. And the reason for that was that there was a Q&A with Mr. Wayne Rooney down there. He's there with Football Escapes, which is like a little training camp that they do for half-term holidays over here on the pitches at Jumeirah Beach Hotel. It's him, it's Wayne Rooney and Michael Dawson that are doing the training there at the moment. So kids are being taught by those two. They've had Joe Cole down there. They've had Bobby Zamora down there. They've had Rio down there. I think Rio's there today, actually, helping train the kids, which is absolutely an amazing opportunity for the kids to do that. And I think I interviewed Joe Cole and Bobby Zamora down there ages ago. Rio owns it. I think he's got some sort of ownership in it. And another player as well. Anyway, so they did a live Q&A last night. 300 people there, which was brilliant.
Right.
All paying 60 quid for their 60
How
quid
what
or
it
above
was?
for their tickets. Yeah, but for 60 quid, mate, 60 quid, you got a 3-course meal and
All
free
right.
booze for 3 hours.
Oh,
So
fill your boots
yeah,
then, did you?
decent. Oh, of course I did. Of course I
Good
did.
on you.
From
No wonder you
from
were
the
late
north,
this
mate.
morning, then.
From the north, mate. We get what we can. Is it free?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
it? I'm having
60
that.
quid, well, I'm getting 120 quid's worth. Yeah. Good on you.
So yeah, so me and Ahmad went to the Q&A, and Rooney's just he is whatever when you see him on TV or when you see him on like YouTube or on his podcast and things like that, he's exactly the same as he is on there as he is in real life. Proper down to earth. Just enjoys like his post life, you know, having a drink, getting his kids into football. Kai was there as well as Colleen. They were all sat around. I think Carl Walker's current wife was there as well. apparently their son's in the football escapes, and he's really good at football. But he was great. It was being hosted by Chris McCarty, who I don't know if anyone listening to this knows, but I work on Chris's show on The Score on Dubai Eye. So that's where I know Chris from. He's very well connected. Big Manchester United fan as well. So he had a great time. The first thing he asked him, to get it out of the way, and this will be news to your ears, mate. First thing he asked him was, because obviously we've seen all these stories about there's a UAE consortium. They've approached Eric Cantona, they've approached David Beckham, and they've approached Wayne Rooney to be ambassadors for this takeover. Until they've got those people in place, this is the rumor, they're not gonna place their bid, to the Glazers. So Chris asked him that last night, and Rooney, he just went, yeah, we're just waiting for Eric to sign the contract, and everyone was like, what? Like for a split second, and then he started laughing, and he's like, no, literally, this is the first I've heard about it. I've no idea. No one has approached us. We haven't heard anything from anyone. Like, yeah, I think it's just mischief making. So he's not that on the head. Whether they plan to ask him, who knows? But I think it's just, they're just throwing names out there. And Wayne Rooney was obviously, it makes sense. He's in Dubai already. The consortium is in the UAE, and it's like, just trying to put these pieces
connect
together.
the dots. Yeah.
Exactly. But he said no, he's not been approached for that at all. One of the things that I did notice about Rooney was that so Chris asked most of the questions. He did the Q&A, and then afterwards they put it out to the people that were there. And when he was like answering questions from like the fans and kids and stuff like that, he came alive. Like big smile on his face answering questions from kids. You can tell he's like proper. He is in full dad mode now, and he loves that interaction, and he loves like answering their questions. And he was getting pictures with the kids, and they came up on stage, and he's getting his picture taken with them. Like that was just really nice to see. Do you know there's some footballers that I've met in the past, they're really standoffish. When you meet them, when you're doing like interviews, media with them and things like that, they're really standoffish, and rightly so, because they get loads of stuff written about them. But he just seemed to be on it. He just enjoyed it. Last time he was here in February, which I didn't go to, he stayed out having drinks with the lads. So he was in the bar, and he was just out having pints with them. Imagine that. Imagine just going down to your local and Wayne Rooney's there just having pints.
Yeah.
Wasn't there having pints?
He's probably just enjoying his break from all the management stuff that he was doing, because that must have been, to go into it and the amount of stress he's gone through, from all the different manager jobs. Just enjoy. He'd probably just think, I'm just going to enjoy what I'm doing at the minute. Fair play.
Do you know what? That's interesting actually, because he was asked about that, whether or not he'd go back into management, and he did say if the right opportunity came up, then he would do. Yeah. But he's really enjoying what he's doing now with the podcast, with the punditry on Match of the Day. Said he's just enjoying doing this, and he's realistic. He knows that he's not going to get those top jobs anymore. After getting fired from who was the last one?
Birmingham.
Wasn't Port Vale.
Plymouth.
No,
Plymouth.
not Port Vale. Plymouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said because he was asked, do you still stay in touch with the boss? Obviously, like Fergie. He says, yeah, I always get a message from him after I've been fired, which obviously brought a laugh out for a lot of people. But he was also asked
Rooney. So go on. I was just going to say, he strikes me, Rooney, as one of those players that loves the game, and if he wasn't involved in the game, is doing something at some capacity, he'd probably struggle mentally just to get his head around what am I doing. So for him to keep his toe in somehow, he's brilliant, because a lot of these ex-players, because they've been living this high, they're on a high all the time, and competitiveness and winning, and to get to the level that Wayne Rooney got to, the lows of coming down and retiring, a lot of them can struggle with it. So for him just to keep his toe in the game with his mates and stuff like that, it's brilliant to see.
I think that's you've hit the nail on the head there, and I think more needs to be done, especially for athletes. When they leave the sport, having something else that they can get into, like some sort of duty of care by the leagues or the organisations that have them, because rest in peace, Ricky Hatton, but similar type of
Yep.
thing with him. He never
Exactly.
really got over the defeats to Mayweather and Pacquiao, and once you're out of that game, there was nothing left for him. He was training his son. He had a lovely family. I'm not saying that he didn't have anything left in life, but it was more that there wasn't that buzz that kept him going. And Rooney even said when he was chatting, he said, it's just a good way for me to just talk about football. We've got a Manchester United WhatsApp group, and they, after every game, they're messaging each other and they're talking about stuff. And his best mate's in there, so I'll put you out of your misery who it was, because it wasn't Rio Ferdinand. It was Darren Gibson, who he named as the most inspirational person
Really?
in the changing room.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gibbo was out in, was it Hong Kong recently? They did a Legends game, because Danny Simpson was playing in it. I think Michael Owen played in it as well. Carrick, Vidic, Eric Jemba was in there, I think.
Right, sorry. Is this the one that Rio Ferdinand's just done? Because I heard him talking about it. Cleberson was involved, and it was against Gerrard's team. Is that the one talking about here?
I think there were like 2 or 3 that have happened recently.
Okay,
like,
right.
Where
Okay, yeah.
there was a definite United Legends one, and then there was like a red on red game as well. I don't know. I don't know if
That's
that
probably
was
the Rio v Gerrard one. Yeah, I just heard Rio saying that Michael Carrick could still be able to play nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was the other thing? He said Vidic, which he said Vidic never played with Nicky Butt, which I never realised. But he said Vidic couldn't believe how good Nicky Butt was. And he was like, yeah, that's just 2 interesting things I picked up on.
Vidic never played with Nicky Butt. They were in the squad
that's
though
what
at the
Rio
same time.
That's what Rio Ferdinand said. Yeah.
I mean, we need
I was like,
HMRC. We need that HMRC.
Get your receipts in.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, right, okay. Maybe he's gone to Newcastle. Maybe Nicky Butt had gone to Newcastle.
I'll check that in the break, because when you remember when he came in, that was early on. When Vidic and Evra came in, that was early doors. I'll check anyway. I'll check that later.
Checked. But so you enjoyed the evening, though, did you?
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I think the two last things that I'll finish on here. He's not completely convinced by Amorim. I think that was quite obvious. He didn't say that. He was very much on the fence with it, because his quotes got picked up last time, and that was the clip that everyone put out there. He's not good enough. Ruben Amorim's not good enough. So he was very cautious about what he was saying. But he agrees with your assessment of it as well. He says Amorim needs to still get rid of a lot of players that are in that squad because they're not good enough for this team. And he said, then we can judge him, on what he's going to do. But I think someone asked him if he reckoned he'd still be there at the end of the season. I can't remember what his answer was. He was also asked whether or not he'd take the Everton job if he was ever offered it, and he said, "I would love to, but I think my chance is gone." Because he was offered it when he was at Derby County. I can't remember who it was that got sacked, but because they went into administration, do you remember he stayed, even though like everything was going to pot at Derby?
Mm-hmm.
He stayed at the club and he stayed managing them, and I think he got them. He avoided relegation, did he? I think maybe
he did quite well then. Yeah.
And he said he owed it to the staff that were getting fired and made redundant to stay there. But at that time, he was in talks with Everton, but he just felt a duty of care to stay with Derby County, so he missed out on his dream opportunity. And then the last one. Now I'll put this out there for you, mate. So. One of the big questions that he got asked was, what moment from his career would he love to replay? Like whether or not you could change it or you could just be, just experience it again. What would be the moment that you would go back to? Do you want to have a little guess? You have 2 guesses.
There's 2 that immediately come to mind. The overhead kick v City, I think would be one of them that he'd love to. Yeah, even though he shouldn't it.
Yeah. Pablo Zabaleta.
Also,
Chris interviewed Pablo Zabaleta for our show the other day, and Pablo Zabaleta was obviously on the pitch when he scored that. and
Mhm.
Zabaleta says that's the best goal he's ever seen in real life, like while
Yeah,
he's been on the pitch.
yeah. It was also at a time. I know Rooney talks about it when City were just on the. They were just coming up through it, weren't they? So just to knock them down a little
Yeah,
peg or two. The other one
yeah.
would be Moscow. I think is what I'm thinking of. Van der Sar's save, John Terry's missed penalty. That why would you not want to relive that every single day?
Well, his answer was it was from the 2007-2008 season, but it was the loss, the 1-0 loss to Portsmouth at Old Trafford. Because do you remember Tommy Cusack got sent off?
Not particular off the top of my head, no. No.
So this was the year that Cardiff made the final, mate. I can't
Right,
remember who won
okay.
it, but this was the year that Cardiff made the final. So I think it was Portsmouth, then it was someone else, and then it would have been Cardiff in the final. But Rooney was saying that after training, he would always go in net. Like he'd
Yeah.
put the gloves on and
He loved it, didn't he?
he'd always go in goal. And when Cusack got sent off, because he was obviously the sub goalkeeper at the time, when he got sent off, Rio went in net. And Rooney said, if the gaffer had listened to him, because he asked to go in net, he said if Fergie had listened to him, he reckons he would have saved it, the penalty.
Right, okay.
Rio dived the right way, and he said, by his own admission, Rio's back was gone a long time before he put those gloves on. So he was never getting near it. But the reason why he said that, he said, I think I would have stopped the penalty. I would have had a better chance of stopping the penalty. And if we'd have done that, we would have won the treble.
Right,
So
okay.
that's where he wanted to go back to. I thought that was quite an interesting answer.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's not one of the highs. It's not the as you said, the bicycle kick, or the, actually lifting the Champions League, or winning one of the Premier Leagues, or scoring his first goal for Everton, which is his best goal, by the way, which he always rates as his best goal. It's going back to that. Yeah, it's going back to that 1-0 loss to Portsmouth. What a memory. Okay, 8:30, 5:30 UK time. Manchester United play Brighton and Hove Albion at Old Trafford. They have turned into a bogey team of ours of late. In fact, do you want to know when the last time we beat them at Old Trafford was in the league, mate?
Go on.
February 2022.
Oh, really?
That,
Wow.
yeah, disgusting.
Mm.
And Danny Welbeck is their top scorer at the moment, and we all know that he loves a little goal against Manchester United. But the big thing that a lot of people have been talking about, and I think we was even talking about it in the WhatsApp group, is yes, we beat Liverpool. Yes, we're on a high from that win at Anfield, who we haven't won there, in 9 years, 10 seasons. Yeah. I don't know if you know that. I put it out there,
Yep.
mate.
Well, I
Um,
do now.
but this was always seen as, right, this is going to be the big test. Do you agree with that? Do you think this is an even bigger test than it is than Liverpool at Anfield, where we haven't won for 9 years?
When you say bigger test, I wouldn't say it's a bigger test. Going away to Liverpool is probably the biggest test of any United team, but it's a test of where we are as a team. That's what I'd say. These are the games that we've said. When we looked at that chunk of 5 games, and I said he's going to get sacked anyway. This was the one where I went, he needs to win that one, because if he doesn't win that one, he's not going to get wins either side of it, if you know what I mean. So this was the one where I go, at home, I keep saying, our home games are going to be massive for this Manchester United team and this squad, because they're the ones that we need to be winning. Obviously, they're a very good team, Brighton. They have been for the past 5-6 years. They invest well in the players. They each ran well. You've got some very good players in the squad, in the first team as well. Be interesting to know if Belieber starts or not after he was linked with us. I know he's had a tough start to the season, hasn't he? But they also play a pressing game, and they've done it at Old Trafford a few times where they go at us. They don't just sit back and sit in anymore. They will press us, which, if the manager does what he did at Anfield, might suit us more. Just cut out the press with a longer ball. I'm going to the game, so I'm really looking forward to half-hour kick. I can make the later ones.
45 quid, weren't it?
Yeah. Human. But what can you do? Well, I try to go to as many games as you can because I like to see. Obviously, you like to see it live. It's just better. You just see more. And I'll be interested to see the press and how they press and how Brighton set up. And if the boss goes again with Ahmad on the right hand side, whether he goes with that in this game, it'd be interesting. And yeah, I think Sesko will start this game. I'll be honest with you. I think this will be one where he goes, yeah, and we're going to go direct. We're going to go to Sesko, and he'll probably play the Sesko Bumo link up a bit more. But yeah, really looking forward to it. But it's a game where we must build on the win at the weekend. You have to win it. There's no point going to Anfield and winning and not winning this game. It'll feel like 2 steps backwards.
Yeah, I think to kind of clarify my point at the beginning, where is this a bigger test? I think what I'm thinking is we beat big teams before, you know, we've risen to that challenge where we play against Liverpool, and we've done it where we beat City at their place last season as well. We're capable of doing that. When I talk about big challenges, you're looking at United, and we talked about this. It's deja vu, mate. We said this before the Brentford game. Do you know what I mean? We were talking about, we need a result against Brentford. We're in a good place, but can he get a result against Brentford? And look how that turned out. So I think Brighton, and this is probably going to pain some people, but they're our level. Like that's where we are now. That's where we are now with this squad as well. This is our level. Can you beat a team that is probably all across the pitch, man for man, probably on a par, and they work as a team in a really good unit as well. One thing that you just mentioned it then, I'm not sure he will play Sesko, because Lewis Dunk and Van Heck, they're the type of defenders, and they have been every time they've turned up at Old Trafford. They feed on that stuff, and they feed on it a lot. And one of the things that Liverpool did, what I assume they did badly against United, or that I observed, was when we talk about those second balls, McAllister and Szoboszlai and who else was playing in the middle?
Gravenberch.
Yeah, they weren't getting to those second balls, whereas Belieber is that player that he's in there to tidy those things up. So if we're lumping it forward and Dunk and Van Heck are knocking down, like they'll feed on Sesko. I think they'll enjoy that. But I think with the Cunha one, you're going to have to move someone inside to try and get that ball from Belieber. And I think that's probably the best way to do it. He's still not played a full 90 minutes for Brighton this season, by the way. He keeps getting hooked.
Just keeps getting dragged.
He played 71 minutes at the weekend, and I think you're right. It will be a big sign if he doesn't start this game, because that will be the sign that his head's gone, right, with this United move, and they're not sure whether or not he's going to put in a top performance. But yeah, just to reiterate, I think they might go with Cunha again, but it will show whether or not Amorim can adjust for different opponents. Because you said this when we were talking about Liverpool. You can set up like that. You can play Harry Maguire. You can play Shaw and do it in that lineup. But these lads, they have a different way of playing. And it might not all be about they're on the attack. They might go low block, and then what? Then what do you do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they've got real quality, Brighton, and the lad Minter. I think he's brilliant. He'll run all day. Like you said, they've just got very good Premier League quality throughout the team. The two centre halves are very good. But it's one of this now. Hopefully, the players can just get on a bit of a roll now, because it's a good opportunity now. The manager will probably be saying this in training. This is a good opportunity now to get some consistency, which is what we need in the team, and to win. And there's no better opportunity than a home game against a team that's middle of the table team. I think the one place above us or a place below us. If you beat these now, we're up there, aren't we? I keep going on about Bruno scoring his 2 bloody penalties. We'd be second in league for top of the league. These are the little opportunities, the little chances that you can take to really kick on shut everyone up now, because all the press will be wanting United to trip up this, because we've done it before, and that's what normally goes on. If you beat these now, right, you set your stall up, right, we're going up, aren't we? We're on that roller coaster, like you said, but we're on the way up, and just build on it. It's just a tough game. It's a tough game. No easy games for United. The keeper will start, won't he, Nathan? I think that he's set in stone
Lamens.
now, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned
You can't go back to Bayern,
Well, you can. You mentioned the Brentford game, didn't you? That's what made me.
Yeah.
I think that was him done after that, wasn't
Yeah.
it? And just going back to the Liverpool game, I thought the keeper were brilliant again. Did exactly what he
Yeah.
needed to do. Kicking was very good, and I think, barring any injuries or anything like that, he will be the number one now at United. So yeah, I think the team. Do you think he'll start with Harry Maguire again after the weekend? Do you think he'll just keep him in the team?
I think so, only because at his post-match press conference, he actually said, he's proud of Harry's contribution, and now he needs to be ready for next week. That's what he said. So it might be, as he would say that about any player. He might even say that about Bayern Day. He needs to be ready for next week. All the players have to be ready for next week, don't they? Because you don't know what's going to happen. But I don't know. Maybe he's just looking for some stability and consistency with his side. I mean, I wouldn't hate it if he started with the same lineup that played at Liverpool, because I think when you go into that, it gives you a bit more confidence as well. When you've got that consistent side. I was listening to The Good, the Bad, and the Football with Nicky Butt, Paul Scholes, and Paddy McGuinness. I was listening to that the other day, and they had Steve Bruce on, and again, this might need the HMRC guy to get his receipts out for this, but he said his partnership with Pallister at the back during his United days, they missed 2 games or 3 games together in 5 years.
Really?
5 years, which is mental.
Yeah, it is.
And then you look at the back line that, you look at him chopping and changing, like moving Yoro in and taking him out, and Mazraoui's fit as well, apparently. So, he's in contention. Martinez is apparently fit and could make an appearance as well at the weekend. I think just go with consistency first and then see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, the only reason I asked about Harry Maguire is I thought it's an opportunity to get Lenny Oro back into the start. I think Lenny Oro should be on our starting 11. I wouldn't be surprised if he gave Shaw maybe a bit of a breather and put Lenny Oro on that left-hand side. It's an opportunity to do that. Also, with the physicality of Brighton and the pace of
hang on. Wait. I'm going to stop you in your tracks there. Talking about giving these Premier League footballers a break. They got 1 game a week. Like, it's not like they're in Europe or Champions League.
Luke Shaw, he probably needs a break.
I get it. Maybe it's mentally taxing on him if it's not physically. But you know what I mean? It's one game a week. They should be ready. Sorry, I completely wanted to get that in there, so I had to.
I get it. Dorgu or Dallo will be an interesting choice, I feel. I think he might go with Dorgu for that. I keep saying physicality, pace, strength that he has.
Yeah.
For the likes of Minty, because he will be an issue. That lad, very good player.
Yeah, you don't want to put him up against Dallo. I don't think. I think you need some kind of sturdiness, and it might be that if they play Mazraoui out there, it could be that they play him at left wing back. Who knows? But I think score wise, I do think United can win this, and I think they can win it comfortably. Famous last words. I think they can win it comfortably. I think they can win like 2-0, 3-1. I think they can win this game. If everything clicks in the same way that it did, and they show that same desire that they showed at Anfield, and they show that it's not just a one-off, it is like something that they do now, then I think they can win this game comfortably. But which Manchester United's going to turn up? What do you think in terms of score?
2-0 is what I thought in my head. I think if we start the game like you say, as we have done most of the season, to be fair, started the game on the front foot and get an early goal. I think with the goalkeeper, I've got really, really high thoughts about the goalkeeper, not throwing one in his net. He just doesn't seem to make, famous last words here, he doesn't seem to make obvious mistakes, if you know what I mean. So I think if your keeper's not doing that, gives the defence more confidence. So I'm looking for a clean sheet. I think we've got goals in our team. I'll be looking at hopefully Cunha getting on the score
Yeah.
sheet, like, so that's something we can stop talking about. But yeah, that 2-0, I'd be very confident.
Would Cunha be in, or is he in your fantasy football team this week? Is he the
That's
pick
what I
from
was just
United
about
squad?
to go to. Yeah, he's in there. He will El Capitano for me. I'll have him in there. I think he's best player for us at weekend. I know everyone gave Harry Maguire the man of the match tonight. I thought Cunha was our best player. I thought he was probably the best player on the pitch, to be fair. And I think looking for him to build, because he got that little knock, didn't it? And it seemed to take him out of his stride. He missed a few weeks. Hopefully he can come into the team now and then start at Old Trafford. He will be attacking more instead of just hold up the ball, pal. So yeah,
Very true. Very true. And Bumo, I'm sticking with for obvious reasons. He's in my team as it is. And I think he's got that goal threat. Yeah. He's got the goal threat, and he's also got he takes the corners from the right hand side now, doesn't he?
Yes, noticed that, yeah.
So you could have a little assist on there as well. So yeah, I think, fingers crossed, I am optimistic that the next time we talk on this podcast, it will be to celebrate a Manchester United win. Right, get it unzipped. Nope, not that. The Gummers mailbag, mate. Go on. Let's see what's in there.
We need a little
we do. I'll get one. I'll make us one. Don't worry.
Dino's got one there. So, going off the first part of the season, who in the current squad should United be looking to offload, not including the players already loaned out? And this is taking into account that there's money there for replacements already.
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, the players that I'm thinking of are the ones that are like surplus to requirements right now. So as much as you'd want to get rid of Dalot, you wouldn't, because he's a useful squad player. I've always said that about him, but you don't want him in there starting. He should never be starting, but he's a useful squad player because he can play across left and right wing back. And this is going to sound harsh, but I'd probably get rid of, like, realistically, what's Xerxes doing? Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Is there a better attacker when we're talking about playing false nine, or when we're talking about who plays up front? It's Cunha, it's Šeško, and it's Mount. He's not even in the picture. So if you can get money for him, and I love Xerxes, but what's the point? Do you know what I mean? I know you've got to have a squad, but has he played any minutes? What's he played this season?
Not having European football not going for players like that, though, Nathan, has it? Because we've only got one game a week, it does take away that option to rotate and give these other lads minutes, doesn't it? That's hopefully if we do get into Europe next season, these lads will have more. But I agree. What's the point? You can have Chido Obbit doing what Xerxes doing this season, can't you?
He's played 2 matches all season. He played 59 minutes against Burnley, and he played 10 minutes against the shellacking against Man City.
Yeah, but like you say, Cunha would be, if Sesko's, say, your first option, Cunha would be then be your next option. Even Mbeumo would be your next option, and put Ahmad into the 10 money. That's the way it'd go. But
I don't think he can play that same type of the same type of way that Sesko does. I don't think he's as mobile. He's more of a link man than he is like a goal scorer. But I just don't think he can play that off the defenders to get that second ball and then look for it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he just hasn't been given the chance to do it. But that would be my pick. I just think I love Xerxes, but he's filling out a shirt at the moment, a squad position that I just feel like it's pointless.
Anybody else you can think of, top of your head?
Malacia.
Yeah, well, yeah. Luke Shaw came to my mind. I mean, I know you mentioned Dalot, but if you've replaced Luke Shaw, so in the question he does specify you've got the money to replace these lads. If you can get a better sense of,
did he say January? He said January, right?
No, he just said who do you think should go. So we'll say summer, January.
Oh, right. Oh, sorry. I thought it was January.
Yeah.
All right.
No.
Let me reel them off then. Tom Eaton, Brian Deer. I get rid of Luke Shaw. I get rid of Malacia, Dallo, Ugarte, Casemiro.
Yep.
Who else? I'd probably keep Xerxes then. I'm keeping Xerxes then.
Okay. Yeah, right.
I'm keeping him. He's back in. I thought he was leaving in Jan.
I thought you were loading up your quill there. Get the ink for my quill. We've got a big list going on.
So yeah, all those. Yeah.
It goes from in January, no, maybe just one, or we'll try and keep the current squad we got to go in. No, there's still a massive job to be done here. And this is why when I said about the Liverpool game, I thought the subs, there was a drop off in quality when the substitutes came. That squad's still very, very weak, and if you can't be looking to build on like a season, say, right, this is our aim as the top four. The aim isn't the top four, because that squad is not good enough to be in the top four as of yet. The starting 11 is looking better and better. But when the substitutes come on, I do feel like Ugarte. I feel like there's a big drop off. Like when you say, I can't remember who the other subs were, but there's a drop. When Dallo plays, I feel like there's more quality we can get there. When Luke Shaw starts, I do feel like his legs have kind of gone a bit. Around Europe, we could go and get somebody better. So there's a list of Casemiro. I'd throw Bruno in there as well, to be fair. I mean, I know that Bruno...
after his amazing assist the other day?
Yeah, bang average. I just feel like this summer is going to be a big, big summer for United, just to see where we kick on to again. I feel like it's massive. And I think
so.
Yeah, I think there's a big list of players that can be improved on.
Yeah. Okay, fair. Okay. Hopefully that answered the question. I've got one from Glanners who DM'd us on Insta saying, given that he's getting no time at Real Madrid at all, should United take a punt on a loan for Endrick in January?
I saw this story this morning. The quality of Endrick in that league, because he's not. They don't fancy him, do they? He come in as a wonder kid, didn't he?
Xabi Alonso doesn't fancy him. No. Xabi Alonso, he's been fair with the players that he's playing. So Arda Güler has been, he's been fantastic under Xabi Alonso, who was overlooked like Endrick by Ancelotti. He didn't want him in the team really. So he's kind of having, then looking at Endrick now, I've heard or I've seen rumours about, the off the pitch activities aren't entirely great. So you don't know what he's like in terms of his personality, but in terms of his profile as a wonder kid, I mean, that's unquestionable, right?
Well, I'm going to question it.
Here we go. Brilliant. Unquestionable until now.
Yeah. Until this idiot says something. I would steer well clear of that type of profile of player. I think what Ineos and Wilcox or whoever it is doing of Premier League proven, we know your personality, we know what you're all about, is the correct route to go. Just because you could bring him in and he could just be sat there on the bench. He's not going to replace Mbeumo, is he? You've already got Ahmed, because what position would he play? He's not going to play as a number 9. He's going to try and play as one of those 10s, isn't he? You've already got Ahmad can play there. You've also got Mount can play it. You've got Bruno can push on there. I don't see him getting any game time ahead of them. And it just feels like a start. Look, we've signed one of Real Madrid's wonder kids on there. It just feels pointless to me.
So there's two ways that I look at this. The four, so to sign him in January would be because our right side is going to be decimated in January. So Mbeumo, Ahmad, and Mazraoui are all going to the AFCON in January. So our right side right now would be Dallo, Yoro on that inside right, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mount,
someone on the right.
Yeah.
Not an obvious person that can play there. Maybe Shea Lacey. He seems to be getting a lot of props at the moment.
there's another option I've not even thought about. Instead of bringing a kid from Real Madrid who can't get a kick there, who's unproven,
Yeah.
well, I'd much rather we just promoted one of the kids for how many games? 3 or
Yeah.
4 games? 2 or 3 games? I'd
Yeah, I
much
think
rather
so,
go down
yeah.
that route. Much rather go down that route than bringing a kid that might not even get it. You don't know with these loans for these
Yeah.
unknown things, do you? But it's one of them where,
Yeah.
well, are we going to sign him permanently? No, it's not. So no, it feels like it's a good story to have. I don't.
Yeah.
Me personally,
But
I
what
just feel like it's a wasted option.
for the opposite side of it, and this is where I'm basically leaning towards, like, I do feel like bringing in Endrick on a loan, because that's what it's said here, on a loan would be a bad idea, because yes, you just put in an unnecessary roadblock in the place of someone from the under-21s, from the under-18s that could go and do that, and you're giving game time to a European rival, like, just, like a feeder club almost, which, that just seems mental. So as much as it would be exciting, in January when we're looking for that little gold bar at the bottom of Sky Sports News, Hendrick signs for Manchester United on temporary deal, that, we would get excited about it, but you're right, I feel. I feel it's just, yeah, it's not worth it. And then, have you got another question there? I've got one more.
No, you go.
Okay, I've got one more. This one's from Damo. He says, do you guys still think Kobbie Mainoo should be starting for Manchester United? Is Stiller a better option for Ruben Amorim?
Oh, I love Stiller. I do like Stiller.
Yeah.
He's this is a great question. I do not feel Kobbie Mainoo should be starting at the minute. He's obviously not doing in training. We have to go with the manager's judgment. He's obviously not doing, or he's not capable of doing, the job that he wants as that 6. I do feel that we just mentioned there that I think he's an 8, Kobbie. If Bruno gets injured, if Bruno gets suspended, I feel Kobbie would start in that position. That's
Could
what I do.
Kobbie play one of those right wing positions, the 10s?
Yeah, 100%. I think he'd be a lot more comfortable there. And this might be another option where in January when the African nations on, you could play Kobbie there. And I feel like he's, I say that Ahmad can't do the right wing back role. I say that quite a lot. He did it quite well at weekend, but the defensive frailties were proven because Gakpo was their biggest threat going forward. I think I kept putting in the chat, this is going to be a problem. It was a problem at the end of the day. But we got away with it, didn't we? I think Kobbie is also a bit of a defensive liability when he plays in the 6. He's just, sometimes you're just built that way. You need a ball winner in there to get the ball and give it. He wants to keep the ball and he wants to play with the ball. Interestingly, should say Angelo Stiller, because he's a very, very similar player. He wants the ball and he wants to play with the ball. Whereas if the ball's going over your head, which it will do inevitably, and you're just just pick up the second ball. You're not playing to Angelo Stiller's best abilities. You're not playing to Kobbie's best abilities. They're just like, well, I want the ball. I don't just want to win the ball. And then, so they end up just going like this. Unless maybe that's something in the future that the manager will say, right, we're confident in a back 3 to push up, a back 5, whichever. We're confident in keeping the ball. If you did that, then yes, the Stiller would be brilliant to be in there and to keep the ball. And that's when you look to, in the Champions League, for example, in Europe, that's how you win games in the Champions League, by keeping the ball and dominating the ball. And these type of players, Adam Wharton, very similar. He'll want the ball. He won't just want to be winning the second ball and right, I'll pump it down the line. It's not what their game's about. But I love that type of midfielder who wants to go some fullback, give me the ball, then I'll dominate it. Hopefully, that's something we can build on in the future.
Well, I think we finally agreed on something, because I don't feel like I need to add anything to that. I think, Kobbie shouldn't be starting, and Stiller probably is a similar option for Ruben Amorim. I don't think he's a better option. I think he's a similar option for him. It'll be interesting to see what they do in January, or in this. Well, obviously January. Will they strengthen? Will they bring someone in? Will they promote the youth? I'd be quite happy if they did just promote the youth and just tried that. Sekou Kone. Oh no, he'll be gone, won't he? If he's fit, he'll be gone. He won't even be. He won't even be playing.
Get young Jim in. Get him in. Give him a go.
Yeah, get Jim Thwaites. That's it.
That's
Jim
the
Thwaites,
chap.
who we talked about before.
He can do a job.
But yeah. Right. Well, we appreciate those questions coming in, as always. If you do want to send any questions to us, you can DM us on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, because I do occasionally check them, as long as they're not calling me almost bald or Paul actually bald. So I will I will check the ones that aren't mentioning anything like that. The other thing I was going to say is, rather than try and reel off the podcast links and newsletters and social media channels and all the names, which I forget every week, and I should obviously write them down. Did speak to Ahmad about this last night. If you go to fergiesgunpodcast.com and bookmark it, you'll see something like a staging page or whatever it is. It doesn't look like our branding at all. But by the weekend, there will be a landing page there where you can get all of your Fergie's Gun needs in one place. So let's do that. Might even get the mugs on there, mate.
Up the Gunners. Up the Gunners.
Mugs. Up the Gunners mugs. Anyway, fantastic, mate. Always a pleasure to have a chat with you about Manchester United, as always, especially after a big victory at Anfield. Because, we haven't won there for 9 years. Yeah,
I've been told that.
I don't know if I mentioned it, but I thought I'd get it out there. So thanks for listening, and we will speak to you again after the Brighton game.